Hey guys, welcome back to another video where today we're going to become Shadow. Head to the avatar icon and then go down to the reset button, click on clear appearance, then confirm. That will reset our body. What we want to head to next is the body section and search for boy. We want to use this as a template for the body. Now what you want to do is head to the head and search for head L, which is basically short for headless, and equip this one here, which removes your head. On the next step, we're going to import the top for Shadow. I believe it's the movie one, but if it's not, it looks identical in my opinion, so we're going to import that and the bottom or the pants as well, which will be this one here. Looking good. Now, we're going to import Sonic's hair because I couldn't find a Shadow hair, but I can manipulate this one to make it look the part. So if we go to here, hide texture, then set the colour to black, then reset the texture and then bring it up by red and the brightness, and as you see it tweaks it so it only adjusts the ears. I don't know why this is, but I found it pretty nifty. At this point you're going to just want to bring the head or the hair down and just make sure it kind of sits nicely on the shoulders. Now we've done that, we're going to need to bring in the eyes. Now like the other videos of Sonic and that related kind, we're going to search for sphere, equip that. Obviously it looks out of place, but head to tuning and then remove the texture and set it to white and obviously make it fit. Now to make it fit, I would advise following what I do on the screen because I have adjusted this to make it fit just about right. And hopefully you would agree, but if not, you can always tweak it to make it look a bit more suited in your opinion. Next we're going to search for Popcat. Now you need to put a space in it, otherwise search for Pop, and you want this Popcat head. This is going to act as the chin. Now you've probably seen this in the last video of Super Sonic, as well as Knuckles, but we're going to do the same on this one here. So you're going to want to resize it, get rid of the texture, and make it sit just on the lower half of your head. Give it some colour, and as you see, I hope you agree, it's starting to look just like Shadow's face, which is pretty cool. Next I'm going to bring in the nose, which if you head to accessories, go to face, and then search for nose, we'll use the little red dot that I always tend to go to for these characters because I think it works really well. Now we've done that, go to the tuning, remove texture, set it to black, resize it with the scale as well as bringing it further down the face and obviously towards it because you will probably see very quickly it floats just ahead of the face and it doesn't really sit on it. But after a few tweaks we've got it looking pretty solid. I think that's pretty good. Now we've got some jiggery and some cleverness here with the whole red eyes, so search for button and use these red buttons. Once you've got that, go to the tuning menu, and what this is going to act is the red circles around Shadow's eyes. If you look online and find any picture of him, you see he's got kind of red coloured eyes around the pupil. So with that being said, adjust it as you see on screen. So set them as solid red, adjust the width, adjust the height and the depth, and do as you see me do. And you'll see how this comes together pretty cool. So at this point, I think that's looking pretty good. It looks odd, but trust me, it will look like a pair of eyes very shortly. Now we're going to actually import eyes. Now these are the eyes I usually use, so search for eyes. You will see these ones that look like joke eyes because they stick out so far. Equip those, head to the tuning menu, go to the cog and then scroll down till you find it. At this point you're going to hide the texture and set them as pure black. I've set the shine to be glass and then I'm going to move it down and bring it into the back of the head. With that being said, we're going to then scale it so it just about fits in the middle of those red dots, and you'll see what happens in a second to make them look like eyes, which I think is a pretty cool trick. I did have a look for just purely red eyes like this on the store and anything within the game, but it doesn't seem to be anything there, which is why you kind of have to get a bit creative, and I think they came out pretty well. On the next step, we're now going to import the mouth, and as per usual, we're going to search for smile and use this one that I always favourite because I think it's pretty universal in the way of using it for different kind of face expressions. Now this time round, you're going to want to set it to have no texture and set it to black, but we're going to off-center it to the left because what we're going to do is make this, instead of being a happy face, we're going to make it be a bit angry. And this took a little bit of tweaking because we had to somehow flip it upside down and put it on his back. As you can see in his body, it doesn't quite sit there nicely, but once you bring it up to the face, it almost starts to look like that kind of look that has that look that Shadow has when you see him on game or an image where he just thinks, you know what, I don't care. And I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool look, and that's what I tried to replicate, and it took a little while at this point to try and make it sit correctly, but once it gets to the correct point, you can always pause the video and then just simply follow the blobs as you see them on the screen to make it look right. I think that's where I'm just about leave it. I think it looks pretty good there. I'm happy with that. So the clever bit, Shadow obviously has a red line in his hair up the centre. What you want to do is search for alien and import it. Head to tuning, go to the alien, and then you want to get rid of the texture and set it to red, but also shrink it so it's a very, very narrow strip. And you can probably see where this is going at this point, but this was a really cool little trick that I found just messing around with it to give that red stripe down the centre of his hair. Now, if you follow what I do on screen, you'll see it come together pretty quickly. Awesome! Stare on the heads. Now, I couldn't get it much flatter because obviously the hat would protrude through, but I think that looks pretty good. At this point, I'm doing the head and the upper body width scaling, which is pretty much identical to the other Sonics I've done. So if you have already got those Sonics saved after following this tutorial, you could just load them up and change the colour of the body and adjust the skins, and obviously import the alien and the red eyes. Otherwise, just follow on through. I do believe there is one slight tweak in this, and that is in the upper body height. For the torso, I did believe I stretched it a bit longer because I found Shadow was a bit taller than Sonic. I really should have a look online to confirm this, but it's what I remember from games, he was always a bit taller. The one thing I couldn't do with this, obviously we need to paint his hands after we've done the scaling, is I couldn't find any golden bracelets, because if you look at most pictures, he has some golden rings, I assume they are, actually as bracelets, on both hands. And I couldn't find this, nor could I find an item to try and manipulate to make it look like, obviously, gold rings. And it was a bit annoying because I feel like that was the final touch I needed to give the overall Shadow look. But for now, we're going to just continue adjusting the legs to make them thinner, and obviously make them shorter, but make the shoes and the hands quite a bit bigger to give that look. And on the final step, we're on the lower body height. Again, follow what I do on screen and you should be good to go. It's starting to look pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Shadow, and it is starting to come together pretty nicely. Now, one thing I noticed here, I have now lowered the hair and darkened the chin because it didn't look quite right. The head was too long, and I didn't get any footage of this, which is really annoying. And there you have it, that is Shadow. If you liked it, like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.